heard me say this before, but NFL is back, and there is no better time to be firing on Prize Picks than right now. I was firing on Prize Picks all summer long, but now that NFL's back, I'm telling you, my favorite thing to do is fire on Prize Picks. There's nothing better. It just makes watching the games so much more fun. Code NELK, if you put that in and put in just $5, you're gonna get $50. So if you're a first-time user, take advantage of code NELK. That's for you guys. Also, Prize Picks has free-to-play jackpots. So every Sunday this NFL season, Prize Picks is giving away $1 million in a new free-to-play jackpot contest. Just pick 6 players to score the first touchdown in 6 games. Even if you don't go 6 for 6, you can still win free lineups and payout boosts. You guys can follow me on the Prize Picks app at Kyle. That's the easiest way to see my picks. We've been winning a lot, so follow me on the app. Download the Prize Picks app. It's available in 40 states, California, Texas. Use code NELK. Shout out to Prize Picks. Best app to fire on sports in the game. Let's get into the podcast. All right, guys, welcome back to the Full Send Podcast. We have another legendary episode today. We got a legend in the building. Skip Bayless joining us today.
I appreciate that.
How we doing?
That depends on you.
You just complimented me, said I'm looking fit, but you're looking you're looking jacked, bro.
Well, I'll accept that, but you look really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
Let's go.
I know for a fact it ain't that easy.
It's not. How often do you work out a week?
I do cardio every single day
For how long?
for an hour. I'm not bragging about it. I'm just addicted to it because I like it. And so I can't start a work day without an hour of sweating. And then I hit the weights 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday,
What do you do for cardio?
stationary bike, or I run on the treadmill. Used to run outside like a maniac, and I found in LA it's just too dangerous. And I took my life in my own hands numerous times out here in this traffic, and finally said, that's enough of that.
Too dangerous because of cars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For years and years, I was a psycho marathoner for a long time back in the day. And
How many marathons have you done?
I did 10.
I ran my first one in February.
You did?
Yeah.
Where?
Well, I was supposed to do it with my buddies in Florida,
Yeah.
but we were traveling. We were doing a video in India, so I wasn't going to make it back in time because of the flight. So I had already trained for it, and I'd ran 20 miles. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to get out of shape. So I just did it myself in India.
You did it by yourself?
Yeah.
Cool.
Our assistant Gabe was on the scooter, like passing me bananas, and
Really?
yeah, it was good. And
Did
then
you keep time?
I got 4.5 hours.
Okay, cool.
It could have been a bit faster, but
Yeah.
I think if I was, if I had someone pacing me a little bit, I could have done a little
Absolutely.
faster. Solo
Okay,
was
so
tough.
you're going to do it in a crowd?
I'm gonna do another one in Hawaii in December, and then I don't know. Are you familiar with Gary Brecka?
No.
He's like a biohacker. He's helped like Dana White with his health. With his son, I'm doing 100 miles at the end of January.
Whew.
Yeah.
100 miles, how?
So you have
Just-
36 hours to do it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And
I think Steiny's gonna jump in for some of it.
Yeah, a couple miles I'll come in. Say what's up.
And can you walk?
Yeah, I think you sit and I've seen people like changing their shoes and like you stop to eat. So it's different than a marathon. I don't think it's as cardio based. I think it's more just like time on feet,
Yeah.
staying awake for 30 hours. But it'll be interesting.
Why are you going to do that? What's your motivation?
I mean, with our stuff, we're always like traveling. Like we obviously own an alcohol brand, so
Yep.
we're into some unhealthy stuff. So I find when you put like, healthy stuff or like workout based stuff, you just put it on the calendar. I think it subconsciously, it keeps you, dialed in,
Yeah.
because if I'm like, if I have to go to Vegas this weekend, also in the back of my head, I know like, I'm running a marathon in December.
Good.
Like I can't fuck off too
No,
hard.
no,
Or if I do,
understand.
I'm going to fuck off in Vegas. Let's be
Okay,
real.
You will.
The next day I got to get up
Okay.
and I can't lie in bed or I can't go eat like a shitty meal. I got to go sweat it out,
True.
maybe jump in the cold tub and then right back to business,
I work with a lot of ex-athletes in what I do, constantly debating with them, sparring with them on show. And it's intriguing to me because for most of their lives up to this point, they were forced by just their profession to stay in shape, and the literal games kept them in shape. And then all of a sudden they turn back into a normal human that we have to deal with, where there are no shortcuts. And I watched some of them slowly expand this way because they're like, well, I did all the, I had to work out. I had to work out. I had to do this. I had to play the games. And then they become normal humans and they're like, damn, I have to do it again tomorrow. Yeah, you do. Because if you don't, it's a never ending battle from here on. But it's just funny to me to watch them turn back into us as far as staying in shape because there's no magic pill to it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you take anabolic steroids, it won't do you any good unless you go to the gym, right?
Told you.
What?
Steroids.
What about it?
You always want to jump on a cycle.
Yeah, testosterone. When the time's right.
Yeah.
I said I'd try steroids out.
But if you want to get bigger or more ripped or more cut,
Steroids.
okay, but it's fine if you do the work. You still have to do the work.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
if you do the work, it'll really work.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You asked me how we got started in this. How did you first get started in like sports broadcasting?
My life changed when I was a sophomore in high school, like act of God, if you will, because neither of my parents finished high school, I'm pretty sure. And I was the oldest of three. They were both alcoholic wrecks and didn't care about my schooling or anything else. And by fate, I wind up in an English class in a public high school taught by the journalism teacher. And she taught one a day just to see if she could find anybody who could write a little bit who would write for the school newspaper. So first day of school, she assigns us all a book report. She said, I don't care what just pick any book you like, read it, and write me a one-page book report because I want to see if any of you people can write. She was very intimidating and sort of psychologically, verbally abusive of the kids because she was just above it all. So I'm a sports guy, always played everything, and I chose a sports book, wrote a one-pager, but the book was so bad that I ripped it, and I'd never written more than my name, and I wrote a scathing, like I didn't know any better. I wrote a scathing review of the book because it was just crap. It felt like it had been written overnight, and in about 20 minutes, I just blasted the hell out of it, and I thought, I don't know any better. I'll turn this in. And a week passed. Friday, bell rings, we're going to the next class. And she says, Skip Bayless, I need to see you after class. So I don't know, but this is going to be the turning point in my existence. She said, you're coming into journalism. And I thought I was in trouble at that, like I'd done something wrong. And she said, no, you're going to write me 2 sports columns a week. I said, I play sports. She said, I know you play sports. I've checked up on you. You can still play for these teams, but I want you to also write about the teams. Okay. I don't know anything about journalism. She said, you don't need to know anything about journalism. You can just write. And I said, well, how do you know I can write? She said, I just know. Trust me, you've got the gift of writing.
That's crazy.
Okay. I'm like, okay, I guess my path just changed because I thought I'd play college something, and I wound up not being quite good enough to play college anything, as most of us do. But I wind up writing 2 sports columns, and by my senior year, I played on a baseball team with a coach I hated, and at the end of the year, I blasted the coach, and it's funny because I didn't need to quote anybody because I'm on the inside, like I'm actually playing for the team, and so I can do inside chapter and verse of why he's a bad coach, and I was off to the races. So, like I realized, well, people like that because they got to know something they didn't know from the inside out. And then I ended up winning a scholarship to go off to Vanderbilt University to write about sports. And this is back in the day when sport, written, the newspapers just dominated in those days. And there was no real TV or radio yet. And then it was just a natural segue into talk radio first and then into television next, because life changed, viewing habits, consumption habits changed. And so I just went with the flow from radio to television, now to internet. So, but she did it. Her name was Liz Burdett, my journalism teacher. And she just forced me into something. I wouldn't be sitting here if that hadn't happened.
Have you ever went back and seen her?
She's not with us anymore, but I got inducted. It's no big deal I was Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, but I got inducted into the Public Schools Hall of Fame in Oklahoma City. And she came and sat at the head table with my mom, who's no longer with us. And that was night of nights where I was able to thank her. There must have been 1,000 people there. I thanked her in front of a giant crowd for what she did for me. And I kept in touch with her, and I told her all along that she was it. I wouldn't have done it without her. And when she said, "You're coming into journalism," it was like, it wasn't a will you, it was you are. So it was the offer you cannot refuse. And she was very intimidating. She had big black hair, big red lipstick. Everybody was afraid of her. And so I was like, well, if she's blessing me, then this must be right. And my scholarship that I won to Vanderbilt, she did everything.
That's crazy.
Signed me up. She told me I was going to go to the University of Oklahoma because every friend of mine was going there because it's a great party school. And I just thought, well, I'll just go with the flow. And she told me, you got to take the SAT because it's for out-of-state kids to take instead of the ACT. And so I had to go take this. And I thought, this is crazy. I'll never win this scholarship. And then they don't pick it until late in the year. And I came in one night from baseball practice, and I knew Nashville, Tennessee, where Vanderbilt is area code 615. And my mom, who was never home, left me a note on the kitchen table that said, somebody called from area code 615. And when I saw it, I thought, damn, like life just changed. I'm out. I'm free. Like I've got my ticket to ride now. I got a full scholarship to Vanderbilt that she could have never paid for. So I was off to the races.
I'm honestly curious about that, your story, and just based off of like Adam Schefter, who used to write for the Denver Post. Now he's one of the biggest talents at ESPN.
Know him well.
It seems like this whole old school journalism, college, it's not even a thing anymore. Like I can't even watch some of these shows because it seems like they just bring on anybody. Have you noticed that throughout your career? Like even right now, how it just seems like there's no qualifications to go on there and speak on this stuff.
To be on the show, you mean?
Like, yeah, just even on like an ESPN panel.
But your point is Adam was qualified. Like he paid his dues.
Like, you and him, similar story. Like he went to Michigan, journalism, same path kind of.
Yeah, I'd like to think that the people they put on now have great personalities. Like they have charisma. They have some on-air attraction that works, that connects with people. I mean, now YouTube is filled with people who are
that's like
right?
I think that's any
Like
TV
everything?
network now, not just sports.
Okay.
Like I was watching Fox News the other day.
Yeah.
Same thing. They're putting on any conservative girl on there right now. Like I saw a chick at like a Republican party that was like hammered and shit. And then I looked on the TV and I saw she was like giving a take on like Ukraine and Russia. And I was like, dude,
the specific reason I brought that up,
there's just no qualifications.
I think of this, I can't even remember what her name is, but she was with a friend of yours, Stephen A.
Yeah.
And our buddy Drewski was on there and she's like, well, you're wearing the Sanders jersey and it's a Barry Sanders, and she thought it was Shador. And she's sitting there on ESPN and I'm just like,
okay,
how is this position possible? And I guess it makes the point of like, how can you tell when someone's just trying to be an entertainer and like stir the pot, which you know how to do very well, or if they actually believe in that take?
We'd have to take it case by case, with each new person that we're talking about. But it was funny to me because I am, as my wife will attest, a sports diehard. Like I'm crazed. I watch everything to her regrets. I can't, I'm going to watch it anyway. So I was possessed with this job. Like I truly actually care about it. And yet I came up with a number of guys out of the newspaper mold who were certainly qualified to do the job, but who didn't really love sports, but did it because like everybody says I can do this, so I guess I should do it. So there was always a big continental divide for me between guys who really care about it and guys who could take it or leave it and just did it because, oh, wait, TV's starting to pay money, so I think I'll do this. And I assume a lot of those new people are just doing it because they have a spark in their personality that works on TV.
Would you agree that there was a lot of times where you just said stuff that you didn't believe in, but you knew would get rage bait or like?
Not one time.
Not one time.
Never, ever,
Wait,
ever.
you saw the starting five. Well, can we bring up the starting five? with Kwame Brown, I think you had in your all-time starting 5.
I did not.
Yeah, you did. This was 10 years ago.
False. Totally
I'm looking
false.
up right now. I'm looking up right now.
Okay, well, you read some bogus website.
This is real as it gets.
Kwame Brown? Wrong.
What's one take you regret the most in your career?
I don't have any regrets on takes.
Really?
I'm just telling you the God's truth. You can ask anybody who's known me forever. I have no regrets.
Has there ever been like a player that you've criticized, like approach you face to face? Like, has it ever gotten like to the point where it's been like, I don't know, hostile or just yell like?
Sure. I mean, many times when I was in the newspaper phase, always, like every other day.
Really? It was more back then?
Well,
Can
because
you just show him this so he sees it?
okay,
It says Skip Bayless starting 5.
it's
can read the
false.
names.
It's just a lie.
Is this AI?
I don't know, but Kwame Brown was a complete
You mean
disaster.
ranking?
Can you read the names?
One player on my team, and that's Michael Jordan. So, voila, here's my team, and I'm going to have you read the names.
This is a joke. They're all joke players.
Yeah.
Everybody's a joke on here.
Okay.
They're all jokes.
Okay. The internet twists its words
okay.
then.
It's okay.
They said this is your all-time starting 5, so they twisted it a little bit.
Scrub starting 5. Well, it's just ridiculous. Okay.
TikTok.
Kyrie, LeBron. You said Kyrie over LeBron, right?
Kyrie over LeBron is a clutch shooter, definitely. Yeah. I mean, he won LeBron one of his rings with a late clutch shot in Game 7 at Oracle Arena.
So what about, you don't think LeBron won him his ring? Couldn't you play that both ways?
Sure. No, you could. But again, my issue with LeBron from the start is not born with a clutch gene. Great player, great offensive player, not so much on defense over the last 10 years. But when it comes to making the shot at the moment in the game, LeBron has been a disaster because that is not his forte.
So he'll never be the GOAT in your book?
Heck no.
Really?
Okay,
Over Michael Jordan?
I mean, he's
Seriously?
first in all-time scoring.
Okay,
he's
but
top 10, top 5 in
He's
rebounds
4
and
and
assists.
6 in the finals.
I mean, still
4 and
four-time
6.
MVP. You know,
What about-
four-time champ.
What about this statement? Would you agree that if Stephen Curry didn't exist, LeBron would probably be the unanimous best player of all time?
Steph Curry?
Like if he didn't exist?
No, it's just Michael Jordan. Period. End of story. If Michael didn't exist, I guess we could get a discussion going about LeBron.
Where's LeBron in your rankings?
I have him ninth
9,
overall.
yeah. And you actually
Really?
believe that?
I do
Wow.
believe that.
Wait, and who's behind that? So who's 1 through 8?
1 through 8. I got Jordan. I got Magic. I got Kareem. I got Shaq. Tyler, you might help me on this. Okay. Because I haven't changed. Tim Duncan is up there.
Tim
Kobe
Duncan's
is up there.
underrated, yeah.
Larry
Do you
Bird.
think Kobe over LeBron?
Yes, definitely. Like
I don't know about that. I'm going to be very honest. Like, I love Kobe, but I think LeBron's over
who would
Kobe.
you want ball in hand, late game,
I
game
don't think
7 for your life?
I
Would you
know,
want
but I don't
Kobe
think
or
it's
LeBron?
fully about
You
that. I
want
mean,
Kobe?
LeBron has accomplished so many things in the sport, right? So you can't just base it off the last 2 minutes.
I
Skip.
agree.
I mean, I don't think that's fair.
Why does the last shot define who the better player
That's not fair at all.
It just does. If over time, because LeBron in the biggest moments has just been a nightmare. There have been so many epic fails from LeBron. If you look hard at his career,
Didn't he average 40 in that finals when Kyrie won?
he did.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
No, you're talking about the one where they lost to Steph.
He
in
still
the
averaged
first 3
40
games.
I think that was when they were saying he could
You
have
talking
still
about
won the
2018?
MVP.
2016,
20
Game 5.
2015.
2015, he was, yeah.
That's when LeBron was at his greatest for the first 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
And he's up 2-1 without, he'd lost Kyrie to the fractured kneecap and he'd lost Kevin Love before the finals even started. And what happened in game 4 in LeBron's house when he had a chance to shut my mouth for sure, because now you got a chance. You're up 2-1 with game 4 in your house in Cleveland, Ohio. And go look at what happened. He was 7 of 22. He was 3 of 8 from the free throw line. He was 2 of 8 from 3. And they got waxed because Steve Kerr switched Andre Iguodala onto LeBron to guard him. And Iggy took him to the cleaners on offense and on defense and became the MVP. Well, he became the MVP of the series. So you laugh, but he was the MVP.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the change right there. So LeBron had a chance to make a big statement, and he failed.
Going back to the Kobe LeBron thing, so besides the last 2 minutes, why do you think Kobe's better than LeBron? I mean, LeBron has led his team in more championships. He has more MVPs.
Okay, but
he's number 1 in scoring. He's top 5, top 10 in literally everything. So I don't understand how you could put Kobe over LeBron.
Because Kobe was a cold-blooded basketball killer, Mamba mentality.
100%. Well, this is a team game at the end of the day, Skip.
Okay, I got it. But Kobe could assist when he decided, but when it's time to score in the biggest games, I know he had Shaq, but for a long time, LeBron had D. Wade and Chris Bosh and Spo and Pat Riley.
You could say the same thing for other players that are great as well. Like, the same thing for Kobe. Kobe had Shaq.
Doesn't get enough.
Tim Duncan had Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili. You know what I mean?
They never bring up Paul Gasol either with Kobe, and he was fucking.
They never.
He was good.
As far as leading your team, and like, you say championships are everything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say so, right? If you're winning a lot.
Look, if I could take LeBron as a baby at 18 or whatever, Kobe at 18 as a baby, and I'm going to start my team with one or the other, I'm taking Kobe. So in my rankings,
I'd agree with you.
You can have your rankings, but I'm putting Kobe just to have. If you really look hard at LeBron's epic fails,
but you're focusing on the negative, Skip. I think you got to look at what he's done for the game.
I think what happened in Game 6, and I was a Spurs fan at this point because I love Parker, Ginobili, and Tim, obviously. But
Spurs team's good.
Game 6, 2013 Finals, Miami. Down the stretch of that game, in the last 3 minutes, LeBron had 3 turnovers in this game, 3 unforced error turnovers where he just made a bad pass that got stolen. In the last minute came 2 of those turnovers. Then LeBron misses the big 3 to tie the game. Long rebound out to Chris Bosh. Why Tim Duncan was on the bench, don't get me started, but that's my lifelong beef with Coach Pop. But he wasn't. He was out of the game for whatever purpose. So long rebound to Chris Bosh, who kicks it quickly and deftly into the corner to Ray Allen, who somehow gets his feet behind the line and makes the greatest clutch shot I have ever witnessed of magnitude. It was magnitude because it sent the game to overtime. And it tore my heart out. It ripped their hearts out, and they could not get up off the mat. And that shot saved LeBron from being 3-7 in the finals. Right?
Why does that tear your heart out?
Because I was a Spurs fan.
Just because you like them? Just the lineup of the players?
Yeah. I mean, I just loved the way they played. They played real, live, beautiful basketball.
It was an old school, fundamental.
It was fundamental, and it wasn't fun to watch, and most people called them broccoli.
They had Kawhi, too.
Broccoli.
Yeah.
No, that Spurs team was good.
Yeah.
2013, really good. I remember.
They had 3 Hall of Famers on that team.
They did?
Let me ask you.
So did LeBron.
Yeah, he did.
But, okay, so then the next year, just to finish the point, Game 1, the Spurs win. But Game 2, Chris Bosh has a huge game, and they win. So it's 1-1 going home to Miami. This is a 2014 Finals against the same San Antonio Spurs. And go look it up. I don't want to bore you with the details, but LeBron just disappeared in games.
Kawhi was showing up throughout the Heat.
3-4 at home, and then they went back to San Antonio for what became the closeout Game 5. And LeBron was just a ghost. And they lost. The Miami Heat lost the finals by a record finals margin. They got blown out by more points than any team's ever lost to finals. And it was 5 games, what they call a gentleman's sweep. And even I, as a non-LeBron fan, was like, man, what's wrong with you? And I never heard that he was hurt. They usually come up with some big excuse or something. And then let's just do one more. Let's go to 2017. Okay, now we're to the Warriors versus LeBron.
That's just, come on, dude. Okay. KD, stop. You can't expect.
Okay, Game 1 at Oracle. LeBron has he's a terrible shooter. I can just show you the stats for his career from 3. He's 34%. It's bad.
Well, he's gotten way better recently.
Okay, he has. I do give you that. Yeah. Just last year, it's year 22, and I'm saying, where were you all these years, man? You say you're in the lab in the off season, and you couldn't improve that, and his free throw shooting is even worse. The lab. It's gotten. Well, he always says I'm in the lab in the off season. I'm saying, why don't you stand at the free throw line?
It's hilarious, bro.
Right?
He's really improved on his 3-point shooting at the later end of his career.
All right, but late
he didn't have to his whole career.
I mean, no one's ever done it.
But he didn't need that. He didn't need that early on.
Okay. All right. So we got this Game 1 at Oracle, and He shoots the ball from outside better than he ever has in any finals game. He is crazy on fire hot, which occasionally he gets, but this mattered because this is the biggest stage in the sport. You have a chance to win game one against a clearly superior team, to your point, with Kevin Durant and Steph and Clay and Draymond. Okay, all right, I got it. We get to the end, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They're down 1 point. They have a chance to make history here. And LeBron gets the switch he wants. He gets Steph on him, and Steph's, I don't know what, he's listed 6'3",
like 190.
You know, whatever, 6'2"-ish. LeBron is a full 6 feet, 9 inches tall. He's got him, and he's maybe, it's like the Jordan shot at Utah that won game 6, the most famous hold the post shot. So LeBron has a chance to do this. It's from maybe a foot or two outside the free throw line. Go up and shoot a jumper, but you're going to have to shoot it do or die, because if you miss, it's over, okay, because you're down 1. He starts to go up, and at the last second, he passes to George Hill, who used to be a San Antonio Spur, who I never liked because I never trusted him in these kind of clutch situations.
Oh, yeah.
He passes it to George Hill, and Klay Thompson's like, okay, you got me. I'm going to tackle him. So he just tackles George Hill and forces George Hill to go to the free throw line, which you have to do at that moment. George Hill goes and makes the first, and you knew what was coming.
Yeah.
He misses the second one. And J.R. Smith gets the rebound and loses his mind because it's like 2 seconds left, and he's dribbling it away from the basket.
Dribbled it out, thinking they were ahead.
Dribbled it out and dribbled out the clock. But at least he did make the first one, so we do have overtime. Okay, this is where LeBron completely loses me as a crybaby diva that he has always been. He goes over to the bench, and he won't sit with his teammates during the timeout before overtime. Remember, if you could have told LeBron James before the game, this will go to overtime, would he not take that?
I think he would.
I don't know what they were,
he would.
10 or 12 point underdogs, like it's a mismatch.
That series was,
Okay.
But they did have 2 chances to win the game, and he put them there.
No, but like before, it was Golden State. Like, Golden State's going to win again.
George Hill could have hit both. He's a good free throw shooter.
Damn, he didn't sit with the team?
He didn't sit with the team. He sat away from the team. Like, I don't want to associate with you guys.
You don't think Jordan or Kobe might have responded the same way?
Jordan would not have.
Who knows? I don't know.
They would probably go chew out.
I feel like Jordan would have
J.R. Smith on the bench. They probably would have been in his face, but they would have said, okay, you are fucking going to do this with me right now. You're going to help me win this overtime. That they would try to scare him straight, as they say. Get him back where, don't lose him, because the team's looking at LeBron like, okay, you don't want to associate with us. We let you down. Okay, screw you. And LeBron goes out and pouts for the first 3 minutes of overtime and doesn't take a shot as they fall behind by 7 and predictable. I think they lost by 10. Because LeBron quit because he's like, we had him, but he knew in the back of his mind he should have taken the shot. If you have the guts and the balls and you're that guy, you take that shot to win or lose the game, especially when you have a hot hand. If you want to tell me it's not my forte, you got me. But on that night in that building, that had been his forte. So that's an epic fail to me, because then they get swept. They get
They're
swept.
Probably still going to lose the series either way.
Okay, I don't know that. I mean,
momentum.
Okay,
when
if
you
he's
win
the GOAT, if he's the GOAT, then the GOAT, if you can go one up on Golden State at Golden State,
that's huge.
I don't know, man.
But would you agree that Warriors team's probably the best team of all time?
2017?
KD, Steph, Clay,
that or 96, 96 Bulls.
I don't see how you can argue against the Warriors.
I can't argue against Michael on any the 96 Bulls. Heck, I covered the 98 Bulls. I was in Chicago in that year at the Chicago Tribune. They were really good. And I thought Larry Bird's 86 Celtics, they were basically invincible. They were just so loaded, so deep. But to your point, I'm not sure the chemistry was that great. I never felt Kevin was very happy there. He never liked Steph, and Steph, Kevin wanted to be the man. And if you know Dub Nation, Steph got raised. They drafted him and they raised him from baby, he and Clay both, up into super duper star. And so Kevin was never going to be more beloved in Dub Nation than Steph.
But you don't think he knew that going there?
No, he didn't know that because he just thought.
How can he not know that?
He just thought, I'm better. I'm better than Steph
won
Curry.
2 championships before he came there.
He did.
He's got to know that.
Yeah. Oh, that's Kevin.
Do you think that's one of that might be the biggest stories in history is KD deciding to go to the Warriors? Like, how shocked were you when you heard that?
I was not shocked, but I knew too much about what was going on between Kevin and Russell Westbrook in Oklahoma City, again, where I'm from. But I used to have battles over this. I'm not a Russell Westbrook fan either, because he is a solo act stat machine who cares way more about what the stat sheet says at the end of the game than what the scoreboard says. And if you look at his path, wherever he's been, teams have turned on him again and again, and he just keeps going to another team and another team. And I don't know if they finally, Denver tried him and failed with him last year, and I think he might be out. I think this might be the end of him, and he's not that old. But in Oklahoma City, he was obviously very gifted, as was Kevin. So I was on First Take then on ESPN, and day after day, I started to go after Russell Westbrook for taking more shots per game than my guy, Kevin Durant. And I was just a big Durant fan since he was at Texas in the 1 year in college. And I predicted he's going to win scoring titles, and the guys on my show just laughed at me like, that's beanpole? Like he looked like praying mantis,
Yeah.
He was so skinny that it looked like he didn't have any man strength at all. Well, trust me, he does, and he did, because he looks pretty much like he looked in college, and I think he can play, and I think he can score. So the point was, I'm defending Kevin against Russell, and then the turning point of that was one night, Kevin called over the reporters before a game in Oklahoma City. This is in the middle of the year, and ripped me, saying I didn't know shit about basketball.
Sorry, who said that?
Kevin ripped me, saying I don't know shit about basketball, for ripping Russell for taking more shots than Kevin. Well, Kevin was just trying to be big brother to Russ and team leader, and sort of defending, having the back of Russell and having the team's back against the guy on ESPN who's trying to tear us apart. Well, I'm not trying to tear you apart. I'm just trying to make you better, because Russell Westbrook is like LeBron. He is a horrendous three-point shooter who never improved. Even this year, he's always at the very bottom of the league in three-point shooting. And LeBron fell for it at one point, and the whole team did. But Anthony Davis fell for it, and they campaigned, go get Russell Westbrook. And did you follow what happened when Russell became a Laker?
Yeah.
It was a disaster. Every time he went up to shoot,
they didn't want him to shoot, the Lakers fans.
At that point.
I mean, you can't deny him and KD were pretty good together.
I think they were just too young. They were young at the time.
Mark Cuban, remember when Mark Cuban, there's that famous clip of him saying, Mark Cuban says, Kevin, that you're only a superstar, and he's sitting next to Russ, and then he covers the mic and he says, he's an idiot, like defending Russ. So it seemed like they had a real brotherhood. So for that to go down that way, it just never made sense.
Well, here's the point to your question. I know for a fact, this came from somebody very close to Kevin Durant. He finally decided, as he was entering his 10th year in the NBA, I will never win a championship with that guy, Russell Westbrook, as my primary decision maker every time down the floor. Because Russ dribbled the ball up, and Russell could decide, it's your turn or my turn. And too often to me, and ultimately to KD, it was Russ's turn, because he's bull in China shop. He's just like, see basket, attack basket. And it can be impressive, because he was supremely athletic.
Yeah.
Supremely, like, unbelievable. But sometimes he had the basic 10-cent brain going where, wait a second. And then he figured out the stat after Kevin was gone. He figured out, wait a second. If I drive like a wild man, and at the last second I just leave the ball on the floor for one of my bigs so that they can dunk it, then the stats start adding up in this thing called assists. And then if I get rebounds, which he is the greatest little offensive rebounder in the history of rebound, or any rebounder for that matter, then you have triple doubles. And he did something I thought I'd never see. He averaged a triple-double, not just for 1 year. He did it for 4 times.
Yeah.
on Kai Cenat's stream recently, I think LeBron, he gave like a long speech at the end. And I think one of the things he said is like people that haven't been in those situations themselves have no right to speak. Yo, you were tapped into the Kai stream?
Or you saw the quote from LeBron.
Yeah, I think so. I think he said people that have never been in that position don't pay attention to them and they don't have any right to speak on those situations. What's your like response to that?
I know enough to know that I do my homework and I know his game very well, and he doesn't have to listen to me, nor do any of you guys have to listen to me, but I dare you to show me I'm wrong, because I'm not. So I study it, I watch it closely, I talk to people who know lots of basketball, and I was blessed enough that I did get to know Michael Jordan, and I did get to know Phil Jackson, and I did get to know Jerry Krause, who built those Bulls. And I was in Dallas for a long time with really good coaches and really good players, and I just know what I'm talking about. And you can go other than your list of the top 5 all time. I get it's like the Teddy Roosevelt quote, the old president who said, you know, I want to be the man in the arena. I don't want to be the guy up in the stands sitting and watching. And I get that. But if you want somebody who will speak the truth, who's not involved, then I'm your man.
I feel like if LeBron like wished you a happy birthday or showed you some love, you'd be a LeBron fan.
No, I wouldn't.
Why are you so passionate about the hatred towards him? Go ahead with what he said.
He was in Miami and was on, I think, Dan Le Batard's radio show. And he said, this is way back. What was his first year there? 2011, 12? I think it's right in there. Anyways, just when he first got to Miami. And he said, Skip is like my Howard Cosell to Muhammad Ali. Now, this is probably before all your time. Do you remember Howard Cosell at all? Nobody remember? Nope. Boy, once upon a time, Howard was it in broadcasting because he was a bit of a windbag loudmouth who had outrageous takes, but he was on Monday Night Football as the commentator for many, many years, and seemed to do every big sports event, World Series, big Muhammad Ali fights. So Howard had a little banter thing going with Ali. He would interview him before and after fights. And Howard was pretty wacky and crazy, but Muhammad got a kick out of him. So he played the game with him. They played along and they had good banter. So LeBron was trying to compare himself to Ali, which he's not in the same ballpark with Ali, who's, when I was growing up, he was my all-time favorite athlete times 100. And I don't like the Howard Cosell comparison, but again, LeBron is saying, I get a kick out of it at that point. I don't know if he still gets a kick out of it, but I'm proud to say I don't know him, so I don't sell out because I like him. I just tell you the unvarnished truth about him.
You guys have never had an interaction?
No.
If you had a sit-down interview with him, what's like the first question you'd ask LeBron?
Why didn't you work on your free throws 22 years ago? That's what I would ask. I don't think I would open with that. That would be kind of an awkward opening question, but that would be one that I would definitely get to fairly quickly. I would like to know that because it's an unguarded shot from 15 feet, uncontested, and it's called a free throw because it's free. It's actually free, and it counts a whole point. And if you just keep making, as Jordan did 84%, or as Larry Bird and Magic did 90%, the points just keep adding up. But to your point, both your points, despite being a 73% free throw shooter, which is pathetic by his superstar stand, it's pathetic and outrageously. He should be taken to task for that, and no one ever brings it up except me. But to the point, he's the all-time leading scorer in the history of the National Basketball Association because he is the most durable human being who ever played any sport. I've never seen anything like it before. It's longevity. He has lasted longer. We're to 23 years. 23 years.
That's a long, yeah.
And I just saw today in USA Today, they did their preseason player ranking for the NBA. Top 10. LeBron was 8th on the list. And I don't have a problem with that because he is. And Luka was fourth on the list.
Who's one?
Joker.
Oh, of course.
Joker was one. If Luka is fourth, I'm fine with that. In fact, if you told me Luka was one, I'd say, oh, okay, I get it. But if LeBron at age 40 is still in the top 10, which is extraordinary, it's impossible. It's never happened. This is longevity. That doesn't make him the GOAT. I'm just saying no one has ever been able to stay healthy enough and spirited enough. You got to still love it, man, because you still have to pay the price of flying all over the country, if not the world, to play basketball. And he's still got the fire to play basketball. Well, most guys, the fire burns out because there's just too much crap that goes along with it. So I give him all the longevity power that he has. But those two guys combined, after they played together for about half a year, to lose the first round of the playoffs to the Timberwolves in 5 games after it was 1-1 after 2 games. So what happened in the last 3 games? Well, go look at it. If you have time, and I won't bore you with this, go look at the fourth quarter stats from games 3, 4, and 5 of just this past playoffs, first round against the Timberwolves, and tell me what you don't see. What you don't see is LeBron was awful, and so was Luka. They combined to be disastrous, where neither of them could make a shot or make anything happen. And all 3 of those games were highly winnable. It was close, or a point or two, one way or the other, going to the fourth quarter. And LeBron did what LeBron typically does, which is disappear in the fourth quarter. He did it 3 straight games, and Luka joined him, which surprised me because to me, Luka can be pretty clutch, as we saw in the previous playoff run when he got the Mavericks to the finals. Okay, so we got all the way to year 22, and as great as LeBron is, he's still not showing up in the fourth quarter. And if you look back at his Laker run, he's been disastrous in the fourth quarter. Do you remember the Denver series? You seem to really follow it closely. Do you remember going back 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah.
Western Conference Finals. Denver Nuggets, now they're on the way to winning a championship. I give you this. There were 4 straight games. They lost all 4, in which they were right there going to the fourth quarter. And once again, LeBron, through the composite four quarters, shot 7 of 23 from 3. And they crumbled because he was so bad shooting the basketball. And then remember the closeout game at Staples, or maybe it was Crypto by then. But the closeout game, LeBron had 2 chances to tie the game in the final 10 seconds and missed the rim with both shots. Both shots. They were contested, but he missed the rim twice. And I'm like, that's horrendously bad. This is going back now 3 years ago. So LeBron has a long history of fourth quarter flameouts, which is why I have him 9th. Because all those other guys on my list, trust me, I want the ball in all their hands when it matters the most. That's my criteria.
All right, guys, crypto's going absolutely crazy right now. And when I want more Bitcoin, Solana, anything, I'm using the MoonPay app. What I love about the MoonPay app is they literally, first of all, have every single payment provider on the planet, Venmo, bank account, literally everything. MoonPay's been around for over 6 years now. Millions of people use it. MoonPay also has this awesome new partnership with BitPay. BitPay is the bridge that connects your crypto holdings to real-world spending. With BitPay, you can buy, store, swap, and spend cryptocurrency all in one app. Plus, you can turn Bitcoin into dollars using the BitPay crypto debit card and earn cash back automatically. It literally just makes living your life on crypto so much easier. Also, every week on Instagram, we give away $1,000 in Bitcoin. Just DM us on Nelk Boys your MoonPay wallet address. If you guys are looking to get into crypto, download the MoonPay app. And also, if you just want to chat to win $1,000 in Bitcoin every week, like I said, just DM us your wallet address. Download the MoonPay app, the best crypto app in the game. Let's get back into the podcast.
How much bigger do you think your career has gotten by having this take towards LeBron?
I don't know. I honestly don't think that.
No?
You know what? You're probably right. If you step back from it, that became a thing for me. That became a mantra. I'm anti-LeBron. People think I hate LeBron. I don't hate him. In fact, I've always said he's too nice a guy. I like him from a distance. And again, I don't know him, but I like the way he carries himself. I think he's a really good father. I do. I think he did a really good job raising both the kids from what I can see from the outside in, especially Bronny. Bronny seems like a really good, level-headed kid who grew up with serious money. And as you know, that usually won't work.
That's what we were talking about. Imagine how tough it would be to be LeBron James' son.
Oh, God.
So much
with
pressure.
the pressure and the money on top of it, where you could say, screw this, I'm going to go do my other thing. I don't need to try to follow my dad's footsteps, right? So I like him a lot, but nice guys, there used to be an expression in baseball, nice guys finish last. Well, nice guys aren't clutch, like he's such a good guy that you got to be a cold-blooded killer. There's this thing in you. Those champions. Listen, I got to know Jordan. Not a nice guy. Trust me. Just as cold-blooded when it came to winning basketball games. Do not get in his way or he will slit your throat. That's who he was. And that trickled into off the court too, where he just wasn't, I was around him. I know. And he actually liked me. But the point is, you're right about, has that become my stamp? Oh, he's a LeBron. I'm not a LeBron hater. I'm a truth teller. I just tell the truth about him. And is that one of my things? I like the Dallas Cowboys. That's been a big thing for me, but I grew up a Cowboy fan, so it wasn't fake. From the time I was 10 years old, I'm addicted to a fault to the Dallas Cowboys. So that became one of my...
Yeah.
What's a cool interaction you've had that you could tell us with MJ?
I wrote about this in the Chicago Tribune. He hated Bulls management. He especially hated the general manager, Jerry Krause, who he thought was a fool. And I don't think Jerry Krause was a fool, but Michael hated him because Michael always had to have somebody to hate. If you didn't deserve it, he still hated you. He was going to make it up if he had to. I hate him. I hate him. I'm going to get him. I'm going to make him pay. And because they would not keep his head coach, Phil Jackson, because they wanted him out. Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner, even recently told me, well, Phil just wanted out. And I never heard that, and I don't know that for a fact. I didn't get that. But if you watch the Last Dance documentary, it's 1998 Chicago. Again, I'm right in the middle of it. Michael flat out quit, and he was at the back end of his prime. He was 35 years of age. He quit on principle because they wouldn't bring back Phil Jackson and wanted to replace him with a college coach named Tim Floyd from Iowa State. And Michael said, okay, watch this. I'm walking into the sunset. And he stayed gone for 3 years of his prime, from 35 to age 38. He didn't play basketball, which I thought was the biggest waste of talent in the history of all of sports. So he had just retired. He's playing in a pro-am because he fashioned himself. He deluded himself into believing he could play pro golf. And he's good, but not that, like he's good. Like I can occasionally be good, but not that good. So he's playing in a pro-am and he saw me and he waved me under the ropes and said, come walk with me. And so we're walking. And he hit his drive in a fairway bunker. Do you guys play golf?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. He hits his drive 250-ish into the right fairway bunker. And these are hard shots, man, because it's a par 5 and he's got 300 left to the green. And he pulls out his 3-wood. And I'm like, damn, are you really going to do this? You're going to try this? Because I wouldn't try that out of the sand. I wouldn't think I could get the club underneath the golf ball and get it airborne out of the sand.
Just
like
hit
that.
The lip of the bunker?
You're going to hit
the worst.
Okay, it's the worst. I did it yesterday.
It can save you sometimes.
Lip of the bunker?
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll like roll out to the fairway, but most of the time it'll just come back to
I hate the thud of you hear it. I heard it yesterday where it's off your club and you hear an immediate thud into the lip and it's just like excruciating.
What's great though, when you're in the fairway bunker and like you're playing like a best ball or scramble and everyone thinks you're counted out, a nice fairway bunker shot when you hit the green in regulation is one of the greatest feelings.
And can
when you just nip the ball just perfectly out of the fairway bunker.
Yeah.
Just had to throw that
worst
out there.
feelings when you can't get out of the sand and everyone's watching you.
Like 3 times or 4 times.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
So
Anyways.
Michael take his 3-wood and I said, how are you going to do that? And he said, I'm going to imagine this golf ball has Jerry Krause's face on it. So that was cool to me because in Chicago at that time, for me to write that was huge. And then my other favorite Jordan was they're playing Indiana in the conference finals. Reggie Miller there. It's a really good Indiana team that pushed them to the brink, to the limit. Took 7 games in Chicago. So we're at Indiana, and they let us in, the media in, just as practice had ended. And Jordan is shooting free throws for money with several teammates. And he has a blindfold on and he's shooting left-handed. I witnessed this. Okay. And it was down to the last shot, and he's going, again, did he have it down a little bit where he could peek or something? I don't think so, because I saw a blindfold and I saw him shoot left-handed when he's right-handed. And he swished it, and all the guys watching just fell on the floor, like that's impossible. And he did it to win however much, because he was big money better, big gambling. And then the final Jordan that I also witnessed was, there was a kid whose name is going to escape me. I look it up and then I can't remember it because he never did anything. He was from Oregon State. And the Bulls, after Jordan retired, took him at the bottom of the first round because obviously they had won the championship, so they had the last pick. I'll think of him in a little bit. But on draft night, he said, my only regret is that Mike retired and I can't take him one-on-one in practice. And I read it like, oh, that's not a good thing to say. So they start the next year. About a month into the season, I happen to be at the Berto Center where they practiced, and Jordan shows up in sweats. And I'm like, what are you doing? He said, I have a score to settle. I said, really? I said, do you know Tim? He said, no, I never met Tim. So he walks out on the floor, introduces himself to the new coach of the Bulls, Tim Floyd, and says, I want him one-on-one right now. And we're like, seriously? So he unzips, and the kid's horrified. He's saucer-eyed. Like Jordan has showed up, like God has come back from the dead. This is, yeah. And he wants to play me. And I tried to keep score. They played, I think, to 20 by single baskets. Wherever you shot it, you just got 1 point. And he beat him 20-5. And it was devastating to watch because it felt like it went on for 3 hours. And that's the guy who is by far the greatest player ever. That was cold-blooded killer. I'm going to come back, and I'm not even in shape because I haven't been playing, and I'm going to annihilate him in front. He wanted us to see it, to shut that kid's mouth, who should have been irrelevant to him, way beneath his dignity. That's Michael Jeffrey Jordan that I got to know.
Damn, he just naturally loves to win, right?
He's a psycho winner.
You still hear that he loves to gamble with golf a lot, right?
Yeah, and I'm sure he's lost more than he's won. That's my gut feeling on that, because
you think
you guys know golf.
Yeah.
It gets scary out there.
It's the one game. It's the hardest game on earth to me.
Gambling with golf is the funnest thing, though.
It's the funnest thing,
yeah,
because anybody can get lucky in any moment and hit a 3-wood out of the fairway bunker 250 yards and have a 15-foot eagle putt.
What's your game like? What's your handicap?
I'm a 12. I'm right in there. But
you should do a full swing golf video with us.
I should, because if you catch me on the right day, if I make some putts, I can play. And some days I can break 80 and I cannot break 90. We're kind of
That's like
around the same.
I feel like you're kind of a head case out there, though.
I am a total head case.
Okay,
and
I got that.
My wife will attest. She's sitting over here. She won't go with me. She used to ride with me occasionally, and she just said, I can't do this anymore.
When did you start golf?
I was 14.
14. Oh, so like, wow.
Self-taught, got all kinds of issues in my swing, and I still try to fix them. I had my first lesson like 6 months ago, and it was a nightmare. Like, it messed me up way more than...
lessons can fuck you up.
Yeah,
I hate when they try to change your grip.
Going to football, I mean, what do you think about Shador's situation right now in Cleveland and how he went mute?
It's the biggest travesty in the history of the National Football League. I believe in Shador. I believe he was raised to be a franchise quarterback in the National Football League. And he has a natural feel for playing the hardest position in sports. And you can't teach that or coach it. He grew up around superstars, and he just has a manner about him where he knows he can play. And what he did at Jackson State and then 2 years at Colorado was extraordinary and against long odds. And he took a beating the last 2 years at Colorado. And there's another spoiled rich kid, quote unquote. He's as tough as any college quarterback I ever saw. He took beatings and kept jumping right up and completing another pass.
You remember the hit at KU?
Oh,
where the guy went low on him? Yeah, it was crazy.
It was just crazy. He's deadly accurate. He has poise and command and just feel for making it happen. And he should have been the first overall pick. Cam Ward struggling at Tennessee. I promise you, Shedeur wouldn't be struggling at Tennessee the way Cam Ward is. I liked Cam Ward. I love Shedeur. So I fully expected he'd be the first pick or maybe the fourth pick or the fifth or sixth or somebody, like when the Giants passed him and after they I thought they traded up for Shedeur and they took Jackson Dart. God bless you. And Jackson Dart's pretty good. Shedeur's really good. And the NFL decided to teach both son and father a lesson. We don't do it the way you guys do it. We don't have DJs in the locker room before the game and at halftime as Colorado does. We don't drive 3 exotic cars before we even get drafted into this league. We don't want the highest paid college player ever. And we don't want arrogant and brazen and outspoken the way you are, Shedeur. That's not how we do business up here.
So you think that was an NFL decision?
He dropped to fifth round. Yeah, like that's
I'm not saying
crazy, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty obvious. I think that was.
I'm sure they wanted to try to make an example out of him. You know, so
the organization told all the teams.
You're saying I don't know specifically, but I would assume so. 5th round.
He had his team interviews.
Yeah,
they didn't go the way that he wanted them to go, and the team started talking, and the word spreads that he has an attitude problem. And then I think this was making an example out of him.
I'm not saying there was a memo about that, like a league-wide memo. It's just they're all in cahoots. They all talk. It's the good old boy network, and they're like, we're out. Just don't. And the word spread. And once he dropped through the first round, then they're like sheepthink, and it's like, no, don't. Let's punish. Let him fall. And I know this league got the biggest kick out of him falling to a team that clearly he and Dion did not want originally, because you wouldn't want to be stuck in Cleveland if you could be the first pick in the draft. You don't want that. And for him to be stuck in Cleveland as the 4th string quarterback after they had taken Dylan Gabriel 50 slots higher, another quarterback from Oregon via Oklahoma, 50 slots higher, 50, then Shedeur went early in the 5th round. And I'm still convinced the owner of the Browns stepped in, Jimmy Haslam, and just said, okay, that's enough. I want him. The coach hates him. The GM had no business. He wanted no part of Shedeur Sanders. But the owner said, it'll be a good publicity splash for our organization that is in dire need of some positive publicity. And yet, he's stuck. I mean, they had Kenny Pickett, so they traded him, and so that cleared one spot. But my God, they went to camp with 7 quarterbacks, and I'm like, they're just trying to shame him. And the shame was the NFL, that they should be so ashamed of themselves, because he can play, and if he ever gets his chance, God willing, he will seize it and make them all look like fools when he gets his shot. And he just went through a situation where they finally said enough of the guy called Fluco, Joe Flacco. I know he's been great in the postseason, but in the regular season, he's Fluco. And so they try to go with him at age 40, and it's a disaster.
Yeah.
Predictably.
Can we say that Cleveland Browns is the worst organization out there? It's fucking
the worst.
embarrassing.
Do you think he's going to play this year?
Once they demoted Fluco, I thought, okay, does that maybe open the door, because they're going to go with Dylan Gabriel, they have a game in London. And okay, you go with Dylan Gabriel for 5 games or 6 games, and surely you're going to lose almost all of them, if not all of them. And at some point, give Shador 4 more. Give him the bottom of the schedule. Give him a chance to show you, because he got his chance flukishly to start the preseason in game number 1. He got a shot when they all got hurt and nobody could go, and he balled out.
Yeah.
You can say, oh, it's just the preseason, but you could see him on stage. If you give him a shot, he's going to seize his opportunity. So I'm just ashamed of the league for this. And I'm hoping he gets somewhere, because see, they wouldn't even promote him to second team. They said Flacco's second team.
Just
what?
Yeah.
Flacco's second team?
That's
no,
crazy.
He's not. I know. It's embarrassing, but they're a clown show. And so then Shador tried to clown the clown show when he was asking questions. And he went, they said he was like a mime, but mimes don't mouth words. They, he just mouthed his answers without using his voice, which was funny, but I hated it only for him, because now
he's giving Cleveland a reason not to give him a chance.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Now the good old boy networks are going to say, see, that's what we don't want.
Yeah.
What do you think? So it would have been better if he's just like, I respect the coach's decision. I support the team.
Jameis Winston route.
Give me a chance and I'll take it. I'll be ready when I get my chance. That's all you need to say at this point, because at some point you do have to play their game to get the chance. And then when you get your chance,
you got to capitalize. Yeah.
But Rex Ryan the other day on ESPN, it's been a few days back, but he said, he was criticizing Shador and said, you need to get your ass in the front row and study, front row of the meeting rooms. Well, he does study. Like, that's good old boy perception of this kid, with the DJ in the locker room and the exotic cars, and he's got the Cybertruck, and he's, that's the white guy view of Shador. That's dismissing him as he doesn't study. He doesn't care. He doesn't take this seriously enough. Yeah, he does. Just give him a chance and watch what starts happening. So I wanted somebody to trade for him at the deadline because they were desperate for a quarterback. And when he went mime, or whatever you want to call that, then it gives them an excuse to say, well, maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe this kid's just uncoachable, or whatever you want to dismiss him as. So I don't know. I lost a lot of respect for the NFL on Shador, because inevitably somewhere somebody's going to give him a shot, because this league is always desperate for a quarterback here or there. And when he gets it, you better be ready, because he will be.
Fucking NFL. And then they chose Bad Bunny as the halftime performance too. What's your take on that?
Okay, I don't follow his work enough. I do think, okay.
Guy sucks, eh?
What's that?
He sucks.
Does he?
I don't like his music.
You don't like
He's
his
super
music?
successful.
Well, see, I don't know enough to not
he
like
could probably
it.
steal any girl I ever date too, but I just don't like his music.
He's probably the biggest artist in the world.
He's huge.
Oh, wasn't he the most downloaded
he's
last
probably
year? And he
the biggest
didn't even
artist.
put an
Guy's
album
massive.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just don't like his music.
Okay. But it's all Spanish, right? All in Spanish?
I can't understand it.
Okay.
Just,
all right.
Okay.
I don't, in, what was it, Happy Gilmore 2? I did think he was very, did you watch it? Happy Gilmore 2?
Yeah.
I thought he was good in that, but that was the first time I ever focused on him, because I had no choice, because he's in the movie I'm watching. But he kind of played the waiter caddy, and I thought he was pretty good at that. So you guys know way more about him, or I think you do, than I do.
Going back to the NBA, I do want to ask you, is Nikola Jokic, no one ever talks about him as a top 10 player ever.
Well, like USA Today put him 1, so.
Well, no, I mean his
all time.
Of all time.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering why, this is why I stopped watching ESPN, because one of the analysts said he's not a top 20 player of all time. And it's just dude, why would I educate myself with your takes when you sound like a dumbass? So
that's fair. I do have a hard time with current players. I need to make sure what their body of work becomes, but he's
a 3-time MVP.
He's the most gifted big man we've ever seen, all around, because he's better at passing the basketball than a lot of point guards.
For sure.
Serious, pure point guards.
And he can shoot the 3 ball.
He can shoot the 3 ball and will make big threes in big moments.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. So at some point, as he gets later in his career, I'm going to have to keep revisiting my top 10, because Durant's going to make a case for my top 10, as will Joker, as will Steph. I don't have Steph in my top 10. And at some point, I have to accept their body of work as enough to qualify. So I just don't yet, because they don't seem finished to me. Like Kevin keeps talking to me, he wants to play 5 more years. Heck, LeBron, I'm not going to be surprised if LeBron doesn't play at least 2 more years, at least. The Lakers don't want him. The Lakers have said, we're done.
Where would you like to see LeBron at?
I think he would like to retire a Laker, and he was miffed, obviously, according to his agent, that they would not extend him when they extended Luka, who's 14 years younger.
Would you have rather seen LeBron on a small market team before going to Lakers? Like, would you have rather see him in like in Houston or something? I remember there was rumblings about that before he went to LA.
There's been rumblings with him about every city in America.
Yeah, the big market teams like New York, LA, but Houston wasn't such a big.
Yeah.
Would you have liked to seen him like play for a team like that?
No, not especially. No. But I would like to see him as a Knick. I just would, because you got to play the Palace. You got to play the Garden. You got to do that. And I'd like to see a year of that at least.
Who's one player you would have liked to see LeBron play with?
Play with?
Yeah, like out of like any player in NBA history, you think he would do well with on a team?
Well, Jordan.
But
because Jordan could teach him a lot. Jordan could show him the way. He could feast off Jordan's energy, his drive. LeBron doesn't have that. He doesn't have killer in him. And it would be interesting to see if that would rub off on him. But what are the odds? That's just crazy.
Yeah.
What did you make of him confronting Stephen A. at the Lakers game? And are you afraid to go to a Lakers game now?
I'm seriously not. And I would welcome him to confront me, because I would give it right back to him. But I thought it was Bush League on LeBron's part, because he ambushed him there was a dead ball situation. I think the game was going on, right? It wasn't at halftime. I think it was a dead ball where there's just a moment pause in the action, and he went over and said, "Keep my son's name out of your mouth," or something to that.
Yeah.
And it was an ambush, a hit and run, like LeBron's chase down block in that Game 7 we talked about at Oracle when Kyrie made the last shot, and he had the historical chase down. And I said, well, that's an ambush block, right? That's a blindside ambush where he's coming full speed.
Wait, so you're taking that away from him?
Yeah, because
it's the best block in history.
Seriously?
Yeah, 100%. With what was going on in the game.
Okay, but think about this.
Wait, how can you argue that? That's probably the best defensive NBA play I've ever
the
seen.
chase down block?
Allow me to argue that.
Please.
Okay, come on, man. That was insane. Especially the
greatest
heat
play
of the
I've ever
moment.
seen.
Yeah. I want to hear.
So what happens on the play? Iguodala has a breakaway, and he's thinking he's going to dunk it, because if he's going to dunk it, LeBron's not going to block it. LeBron's going to have to foul him if he dunks it. And at the last second, J.R. Smith cuts across the path of Iguodala. Go look at the play. Tell me I'm wrong about this. Cuts across the path, and Iguodala has to hesitate and go half step for a second and recalibrate. Oh, wait a second. I'm out of step now, so I can't dunk it. I'm going to have to lay it up. If J.R. Smith doesn't cut across and assist LeBron by slowing down Iguodala, well, no, go look at it. No, this is the God's truth. I'm telling you the God's truth.
He didn't give up on the play. He came across the court. He saved the game.
But
it doesn't matter what else happened.
A man's
block.
It
happened though. That's what I'm saying.
A man's block is face to face, where you just go up and make somebody eat the basketball, right? Did Iguodala see LeBron? Did he see him coming?
No, but that's why it's such a great play. He came across the court.
It's a chase down ambush. It's a blindside ambush. Like, okay, you want that? You're going to say that's the greatest block ever? I give you
with what was going on in the game. Sure,
you guys are just wide-eyed blind witnesses.
I get what you're saying. You're saying like you want to see a guy stop somebody at the rim, like your boy Tiago. Wait, didn't Braun stop Tiago Splitter at the rim?
Yeah,
and you love Tiago, and he stuffed his ass at the rim.
I jump higher than Tiago Splitter. I do.
He's a big guy. He stuffed his ass at the rim.
He's 6'11" and can't jump a lick. He can't jump up higher than a phone book.
Yeah, do you remember that? Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
Are you guys like LeBron? No, psycho or like?
We love LeBron. We grew up with him like you grew up with Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you stalk him or do you?
It seems like you do.
No, I watch basketball.
Does he own real estate in your head, you think? A little bit?
No, none. I own it in his head, right?
Yeah, you might actually.
I do, yeah.
That's hilarious.
So I educated you finally. You learned something.
What do you like about doing your podcast now versus like being on ESPN business wise?
I did get back into the flow about a month ago. I'm doing a show with Gilbert Arenas on Underdog called Arena Gridiron. And Gil's obviously a 3-time NBA All-Star who wants to get into the NFL business. And we have a number of ex-players, starting with my guy, Aqib Talib. And I'm back into the flow of doing what I always did. It's NFL-driven, Arena Gridiron. We're on YouTube, if you would allow me a quick plug.
Of course.
On the Arena YouTube channel. And it has taken off. Should knock on some wood here somewhere. And I'm back into the debate mode against ex-players who did play the game that I did not play, and I live for that. I relish it. I feed off that, because the 2 games I know are the NBA and the NFL. And I am re-energized with them in a way that's very different from my own podcast. That on my own podcast, it's me flying solo, and it's done very well. But I found that I do feed off
someone else.
This,
yeah.
You know, I love you guys coming hard back at me, and if you'll be okay with me coming hard back at
we
you,
love it. We love it.
It's fun.
I love it.
It's what guys do. It's what everybody does, and so. The only thing I've missed in my podcast is just I fly solo. Occasionally I do interviews, and I love that. And I've branched out, and I've done a number of interviews with people I know well, like Ice Cube and Billy Bob Thornton. So I do some entertainment interviews, and I'm good at that. I like that. And I like to delve into people's psyches just one-on-one. But I have missed this dynamic, and so I am loving this dynamic back on Arena Gridiron.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of these athletes, like Jeff Teague, talking about the stories you never get to hear. I gotta watch more Gilbert, but Jeff Teague's doing a great job too.
He is doing a great job.
So
he is.
Yeah,
I agree.
What was your most intense moment, you think, being on ESPN?
Man, Stephen A. and I used to get into it. Whew. I guess it would be my Richard Sherman moment, and I wound up working with Richard Sherman, but it was a ways back, I think 2012. We were doing.
Yeah, we saw that clip, right?
Did you see it?
Seen it earlier, yeah.
Wait, what? Where he calls?
When he said
he's
I'm better at life than you?
Yeah, it's classic.
He's not, but whatever.
That was a crazy clip.
Here's a quick, funny underside of that story. So Stephen A. and I are on First Take in the mornings, Eastern time, from 10 to noon. And it's doing well. We had some issues. Some people got suspended. I didn't, but some people did. And we were kind of on probation for a while. And we got through our probation successfully. And then they said, okay, let's try you guys out, audition you for an afternoon show, because Stephen A. hated getting up in the morning. He was always up late at games. So he said, we got to do this, because maybe we can get in the afternoon block as a hour show as opposed to 2 hours. Okay, I'm with you. I'll try. Let's try this. So we were on a 2-month probation period in the afternoon where we were just auditioning, and we'd do a half hour a day on top of the 2 hours in the morning. We'd go eat lunch and throw together another rundown and just do a half hour. We are to our second to last show. We're almost home, and we're getting rave reviews up on the 5th floor from management for our afternoon show. And we're thinking, we got this. Richard Sherman's people call and say he would love to be on the afternoon show. Would you like him? Well, sure. It's short. It's only like 22 minutes of television with the commercials. But if we could have him off the top of the show, we could take him for a segment and do, 10-ish minutes. And fine. Okay, let's do this. And Richard's people told my producer, no controversy. He'd been involved in several controversies. He went after Tom Brady in a game they won up in Seattle. And you like that, bro? I forget what. Oh no, you mad, bro? That was the question he asked Tom. Are you mad, bro? And he was needling Tom through the whole game, whatever. And yet the people told me, don't. He don't want to be challenged. Just let him talk ball. Off season. This is in March. Like it's not even in the season. Fine. And so he's sitting down to get mic'd up, and we come on live, and I'm looking at the monitor thinking, wait a second. He's not ready. And my producer says in my ear, vamp, do something, because we're going to go right to Richard. We're in tight TV blocks with, this is all different. We don't have to worry about.
It's not live.
It's a 30-minute slot, wasn't it?
I think it was from 2:30 to 3:30 Eastern time. Okay. So Richard's, he's got his earpiece in, but they're putting the rest of the gear on, and they come to me, and I don't know what possessed me, but I said, I'm looking forward to talking to Richard Sherman. I think he's about to arrive, but he's still not better than Darrelle Revis, because at that point, Revis was just, I don't know if you guys remember Darrelle Revis.
Yeah, Darrelle Revis was
Revis down. Island.
Yeah.
Like he was.
We remember Champ Bailey too.
He was the man in Champ Bailey. That you could have made that case at that moment. Well, Richard hears this in his ear. He's not mic'd up. And then he sits down, and our moderator asked him the first tame, lame question. It's just some off-season football question, and he attacks me. Now think about the hot seat I'm sitting on, because if I engage too hard with him and we have an incident, even though it became an incident thanks to him, but if I respond in kind to him at that point, and it blows up and becomes an ugly, so to speak, black eye for the network, then we're going to lose our shot at having an afternoon show. We're going to be back on probation. So for me, I tried to stay above the fray and kind of laugh along with it, but still go back at him. And it was hard because I was biting my tongue, and Stephen A. wasn't even in studio. He was remote, and he sort of went quiet because I think he was horrified. Like what?
His face was just like
hilarious.
Huh?
His face.
And I kept waiting. I was hoping Stephen A. saved me. Like jump in and you don't have to defend me, but maybe defuse or whatever you could do.
You seem like you held yourself. You contained your temper.
I just tried to hang right in and be rational and reasonable. And I tried to explain football-wise that I don't think he's the best, because he's got the two best safeties in pro football are behind him in the Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
And he plays a lot of what's just cover two, where he's got his little area to cover, and he doesn't travel with receivers the way Revis does, where you've got him, you got their best receiver, and wherever he lines up, you go with him. Like Richard just stays where he stayed. But Richard was really good, and I worked with him at Fox 2 years ago, so I got to know him, and we went through this whole thing and laughed it off. But he heard Revis is better than me, and if you know Richard, he is hot-tempered, like he just explodes, and he exploded on live TV. I also think he was kind of on I think I told him this on the air, like you're on a national campaign to make yourself a thing. You're trying to speak yourself into existence. So I thought maybe he was challenging me, the big guy. I'm going to go after Skip Bayless to create more of a name for himself. And there may have been some of that going on. And then Richard's performance carried him after a while, and he's really good. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He is that good.
What did that moment teach you of when you're live and he catches you off guard like that?
Remember, my mind's flying 1,000 miles an hour because Stephen A. wants the afternoon slot, and so now I have to recalibrate. How do I do this? How do I respond without provoking craziness? Because we're live now. This is not live to tape. This is live to live. This is explosive because it's going to go out. And remember, this is Disney owned, ABC, ESPN, and you can, and there'd be potential for a curse word, an F-bomb to fly, not from me, but from if I keep pushing back. Because Richard, I know him. He is volatile. He's had some other incidents in his personal life, off the field life, that have been volatile. And I don't know exactly what I'm dealing with at that point because I didn't know him. So I'm tiptoeing, but I'm not backing up. I'm tiptoeing forward and trying to hang in with him and not let him just run over me without provoking. And the funny part was, of all the things I did in, how many years was I there? I'll say 2004 to 16, 12 years. I was there for 12 years. In all the things I ever did, I got more kudos from the bosses on the 5th floor over that than anything I ever did, because I held my own without losing my temper. That's how they, congratulated me.
Yeah.
So whatever. And we still didn't get the afternoon show after all that.
I think this was awesome.
All right, it was awesome.
We'll
You
put
guys
the new,
will burn me out.
We'll put the new show link at the top of the description. Make sure
Thank
everyone
you.
goes checks it out.
I appreciate
And we appreciate
that.
you, bro. Thanks
Very
for
much.
this.
Thank you.
This was awesome.
I truly enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yep. Skip Bayless.